How to play Mike McCready's iconic Yellow Ledbetter intro. It's gonna look and sound like this. Alright, we're also going to get the chords down for the verse and the chorus. The 1 chord E, to the 5 chord B, to the 4 chord A, and back home. We'll do the bridge, E, B, A, or 1 to the 5, 4. And of course, we're going to do that refrain. Let's take a close look at the fretboard. Okay, close look at the fretboard, getting started with some prerequisites. We're going to talk about the chord shapes and also the scale pattern that Mike is using to create his intro. Before we jump in, today's guitar, I'm jamming on my 60th anniversary American Fender Stratocaster, and I just did a video on how to give these guitars a little TLC. How to set the bridge float, the intonation, and also how to restring these guitars. And of course, I'm using long-lasting Elixir 946s. I tend to get a little more bang for my buck out of these strings. And since they're sponsoring the channel, if you want to win a couple packs and give these a try, just comment down below. Let me know which Pearl Jam song you'd like for me to break down next. Okay, getting started with these, kind of think of them as the main ingredients for this tune. It's a 1-5-4 progression, basically throughout the entire song. So E major, B major, A major. But Mike is going to voice his chords outside of this open position. For the E major chord, he's going to play it like this. That's the open E string and 9th frets of the D, G, and B string. Now, very conveniently, this shape is going to overlap with the E major pentatonic scale. And that's the main scale that he's going to be using for both this main riff and also the guitar solo. 12, 9, 11, 9, 11, 9, 11, 9, 12, 9, 12. Now for the 5 chord, B major, he's going to fret it Hendrix style. Thumb over the top, grabbing the root note, 7th fret of the E string, and then he's finding the triad, frets 9, 8, 7, 7. Now one cool thing you can do when you're fretting with the thumb is add in these cool little pinky tricks. And that's how he's going to get the melodic elements into this chord progression. All right, take that down a full step. And you have all the ingredients for the 4 chord A major. Okay, so the 1, 5, 4, chord progression. Very useful chord shapes because again, you can add in all those melodic elements. All right, now that you have the main ingredients for the tune, let's get started learning how to play this intro note for note. Okay, getting started with measure number 1 over the E major chord, utilizing that E major pentatonic scale. Looks and sounds like this. Okay, Hendrix style double stops, hitting the low E string. Next, we're going to play 9 up to 11 on the A string, and then hit a double stop, 9 and 9 of the D and G string. Next, we're going to do a hammer pull. Now, I'm still barring kind of that A shape, but transposed to the key of E, 9th frets of the D, G, and B string. I'm hammering up and pulling off 9 to 11 on the G string as I keep those other tones. Then I'm grabbing the 11th fret of the D string. Put that together and we have. Now it's a small detail, but there is a dead stroke in between there. Alright, that's going to get us to the 5 chord B major. We're going to slide in on the root note and play. Okay, so that was 7th fret with the thumb. Grab yourself that triad, strum to the B string. Then you're pulling off on the high E string with the pinky, then grabbing the B and G string. Finally, you're going to end that measure, hitting the bass note, strumming the chord, and then adding the pinky once again. Alright, so just over the B chord we're playing. Alright, you add that into the mix, putting the E and the B chords together, and it should sound like this. Let's practice. That'll get us to the 4 chord A major, where we're going to play. Okay, so there, over the A major chord, I'm starting off in the position with the pinky down on the 7th fret of the high E string, doing a pull off as I strum. Next I'm going to play. I hit the thumb note, D string, then I'm going to strum through as I add my pinky to the G string, 7th fret, and then strum again. So. Next, we're going to end this bar by playing. Alright, so still holding that chord shape, I hit the D string, then I'm going to do a hammer pull on both the E string and the B string, before hitting the low E string by itself. Okay, you put all that together over the A major chord we're playing. Alright, then finally we're going to play a nice little pentatonic stacking lick to end part A of this intro section. So I'm going to slide 12 and 12, B and high E string, up a full step to 14, return back, down to 9, and then the G string, 11th fret by itself. Okay, you add that into the mix and we have all of part A of the intro. Lick. Okay, now that's going to get us to part B of this intro section. It's going to be a lot of the same techniques, but there's some very cool variations. Check it out. Alright, and then that'll get us into the verse section. Okay, so a lot of that was the same, getting started on the E major chord. It's going to be a slight variation. Check it out. Okay, so we started off the exact same thing, low E string, the hammer on, the double stop, but now 2 dead strokes. Alright, so after those 2 dead strokes, with an upstroke, he's grabbing the 11th fret of the A string. I'm still barring with my index finger, so that way if I hit another string, it's still going to be in key, part of that E major triad. Okay, and there at the end of this bar, we're going to play something very similar to what we played in the first go-around, but it's going to be phrased differently. We're just doing the hammer on up. Alright, that index finger is active. We're barring down to 9 and 9. And then we're going to rest there on the 11th fret of the D string. Alright, that's going to get us to the 5 chord where we're going to play. Okay, so I started off hitting the root note and then strumming the inside strings, down up. Next, we're playing this melody, but we're strumming. All right, starting with a pull off there. Put that together and we have. Next, we're gonna finish up the measure playing before moving to the A major chord and pulling off. All right, so that was just hitting the root note on the D string, strumming and pulling off, and then going back up to that pinky note and strumming. So far you have. All right, then moving to the A major chord we're gonna play. All right, so we started off, same exact thing as last time, pulling off with the pinky. Then the timing is simplified. I hit the bass note, then D and G together as I hammer my pinky up to the 7th fret of the G string. Then an upstroke 5th fret high E string. So. All right, then it's gonna end in a very simple fashion. So D and G together. Then we're just hammering with our pinky up to the 7th fret of the B string. And that can be single notes or it can be double stops. Okay, you can really decide. So, then the low E string open. We're gonna count to beat number 4. 1, 2, 3, and then slide up 12 and 12 of the B and high E string, and then slide away on the low E string, maybe around the 16th fret. Will sound great. Okay, put all that together and we have part B of this intro. Okay, now let's put everything together. Let's see if you can play parts A and B back to back. I'll play it at a slow tempo so you can practice. Here comes the lick. Chuck, chuck, up. Now, from here, you basically have everything you need if you want to play through the verse and the chorus sections. He's going to stick with the same chords and the same style. He's just throwing in kind of random Hendrix style variations. Now, some of the stuff that he does live that's very cool is, one example is he throws in these cool Van Morrison style harmonies. So you could play it like this. I like to use hybrid picking here. Stop at the B string this time. And then slide up to frets 11 and 11 of the G and the high E string. Another thing that he likes to do is kind of move between the 5 chord B and the 4 chord A with his pinky on the B string, and then pull it off when he gets to the 4 chord. Okay, so. All right, and then another cool variation. He often plays this descending lick, which you can harmonize if you like. The basic form is just scaling down the major pentatonic, and then a hammer on to end on the G string, 9 up to 11. You can also bar the index finger, all right, for a little more texture. All right, and as one last variation to this intro, a lot of times he's going to kind of play that first hammer-on in harmony with the open E string. So phrasing it a little different. Maybe some more chicka chickas. Just like that. Okay, if you can play that, then you're ready to move on to learning the other chord progressions that we have in this tune. Okay, so we have the bridge section. That's going to be E, B, to the A. I like the strum. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, A, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, down. Alright, then the other thing you need to get is the refrain. Check it out. That time it ends on a B. Then it alternates to an A. So those chords right there, it's all on the A and D string. A D sharp 5, sharp 5. Stretching the hand just a little bit further, we have frets 6 and 9. D sharp 5, sharp 5. Bring it up a half step, that index finger, and then frets 2 and 4. So. The second time we're going to A. And I think it's going to repeat like 4 repetitions in total, right? Alright, and then finally he's going to go back into his main riff to end the tune. Okay. If you have those elements, then you have everything you need to perform the song. So check back in, maybe next week I think I'll have another lesson up breaking down how to play the solo. Alright friends, thanks so much for checking out this Pearl Jam guitar tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And be sure to let me know what Pearl Jam song you'd like for me to break down next. I'm going to be picking a winner of those 2 packs of Elixir strings, and I'm also going to be choosing your title to break down next. I want to thank my patrons for making all these lessons possible. I hope you're enjoying those extra resources. And until next time, this is Rob coming at you from the Jersey Shore saying happy picking.